Hey, welcome to Optimize Your Body with Martin Silva, where we talk raw, uncut facts to truly help you optimize your body.
Hello, Andrew Bond. How you doing, pal? There's a nice little smile there, mate. Nice little cheesy smile.
Happy to be here. How are you?
Are you so happy because it's a Friday evening, mate, or is it just,
I work
smile?
Saturday, so it's just a normal day for me anyway. So,
Of course.
Every day's a Friday when you love what you do, Martin, right?
Exactly, mate. That's it, man. So what's the weather like there, man? It looks pretty cold there over in New York.
It is freezing cold. It's in the minuses already, so it teases you a little bit because it feels warm at the beginning of winter.
Yeah.
And then a gradual dip until it becomes horrendous, man. If you haven't visited New York and you haven't experienced the winter, I would not bother coming at this time of year because it's just harsh, mate. I'm telling you now, you forget about it during the summer because it's so good.
Yeah.
When winter comes along, it's just like it's a biting cold, something you'll never experience in the UK or Australia. It may drop down the temperature from time to time, but it's that type of cold that like stings your face and gets through your clothes. So it's not very pleasant.
Nowhere to hide. And then on the flip side, mate, it's like 30 degrees here in Sydney, mate. It's the
I can see the background and the sun shining in the background because you're out in the balcony. So
I know, mate. Palm trees there.
Happy New Year, by the way.
What's that, mate?
Happy New Year, by the way.
Yeah, Happy New Year, mate. 2019. So big things going on this year. Yeah, New Year, new me, mate. New Year, same me. But yeah,
those resolutions kicking in.
Yeah, well, like I said to you, I'm wean myself off coffee. So just for the listeners, I haven't had a coffee today, so I'll probably be a bit flat. So I'll probably leave Andrew do most of the talking. You know what I mean? So.
Please.
But so let's get to the chase. So I've got a few people to write in on Instagram with some questions, just so we can be more specific to the audience, and we'll dive straight into, I guess, the first question by AliCats84, and it is how to boost your metabolism. So there's lots of different factors and variances which come into this question, but you can hit us first hand if you want, mate. How do you boost your metabolism?
Just run through what your metabolism might be. So, and that can be done through the different workouts you do, movement, strength training, walking, and all of this can be done to increase that calorie burn. I know you've touched upon recently on your Instagram that there are different foods that help fire your metabolism.
Yeah.
So I haven't looked too much into that, but would you say like spicy type of foods might help boost metabolism as well?
That's a good point. That's a good point. So I was thinking about that, about whether or not to actually include the kind of foods which can boost your metabolism. But luckily, you just ran through the most important things, then, mate. Anyway, so spot on there. Because obviously, as you know, strength training, like you were saying, you can, just for the listeners, with cardio, you can manually burn calories, and just from your daily activity, obviously. And just to keep you alive as well, obviously for your body, just to keep your organs and to keep you, like I said, to keep you alive, your metabolism is going to be firing and burning calories. But your daily movements and any cardio you do is going to manually burn calories. But the beauty of strength training is going to make your body automatically burn calories. So as Andrew and I have mentioned before, muscle tissue is expensive, right? So it's going to cost your body a lot of calories to keep that muscle tissue on your body. So in my eyes, there's nothing, if done correctly and you're a healthy human, so to speak, then strength training, I would say, is the best thing you can do really long term for a healthy metabolism, because like I said, when you build muscle, your metabolism is forced to supercharge, if you like, and obviously strength training is a high demand. It's demanded on the nervous system, so your body's forced to adapt in a way which is favourable for your metabolism. But I was going to ask you, Andrew, about cardio as well. I know occasionally you'll use, very occasionally, same as me, you'll use HIIT training as a tool. I mean, how important would you say, because a lot of people do this, don't they? And what would you say HIIT training in terms of metabolism and stuff?
It can help boost your metabolism, probably for a short period of time, Matt. Ultimately, doing excess cardio, your body becomes very efficient at burning calories at that time. But ultimately, I believe myself personally, that doing excess cardio, it can slow the metabolism down because it teaches your body to become more efficient at that time, burning more calories. But after finished it, and like weight training is probably not going to burn calories for hours after.
Let me just intervene a little bit there, just for the listeners. Yeah, so like Andrew was saying, then the afterburn from weights and from HIIT training is really good. So basically, your metabolism once you've lifted weights is generally elevated for 24 to 72 hours generally after you've lifted weights. So it's the afterburn. There's actually a technical name for it, but yeah, there's the afterburn is really high from lifting weights. Sorry, mate, I just wanted to explain that and HIIT training.
Ultimately, again, prioritizing lifting weights increases strength and in turn builds more muscle, and then that makes you more efficient at burning calories, right? I think what comes hand in hand with people doing excess cardio, especially probably around this time of year, is that they are underfeeding the body probably for too long.
Yep.
Increasing the amount of cardio they do, and that allows your metabolic rate to adapt pretty quickly.
Yep.
And evidently your body then kind of tries to survive on less calories, right? Your body's pretty smart, and it adapts, survives on less calories, and in turn then it just slows that metabolic rate down and makes you less efficient.
That makes total sense. And also there's a few other methods as well, so let's just cover the big rocks. Let's just, obviously we're always going to mention the things which are really important, right folks, because you can easily get caught up within the weeds, especially with some of the information you'll see online. We were talking quickly about foods which boost your metabolism, but that's really the bottom of the list. Let's talk about sleep. This is a very, very important, obviously very, very important. It's up there at the top with what you eat and strength training, because studies have shown that even one night's bad sleep can have a massive effect on your hormones, including insulin and stuff. So the bottom line is, you don't need me to tell you that focusing on good quality sleep is gonna obviously be favorable for your metabolism. If you're not focusing on good quality sleep and getting enough sleep, then it's common sense. It's not really going to benefit your metabolism. So focus on that. We've got a few other things as well. I don't know whether you had anything else you wanted to say, mate.
No, on sleep, like you said, it's also been shown to boost like your hunger hormone. So evidently, if you have a poor sleep, as Martin just alluded to, then you're probably going to wake up hungry. You're going to look for those different foods. You're probably going to eat excessive amounts of quote unquote, I guess, poor foods. From time to time, you're craving that sugar, and those type of foods are not going to have a healthy benefit for your metabolism, basically. So.
Absolutely, yeah. I meant to mention that actually. Yeah, I'm glad you covered that. So yeah, that's the study I was looking at actually. Yeah, the hunger hormones do fluctuate. So you're going to end up potentially eating poor the next day when you have a few nights bad sleep, or even one night's bad sleep. Also, I was going to say about calories and undulating calories and stuff. This is probably a bit further down the line, but a lot of people maybe so. I'm pretty sure a lot of people listening to this might be at a place where they're already tracking their calories. A lot of them won't be, but people are becoming more and more aware now of what macros and calories are. And what you find is a lot of people, if they get given or they figure out which calories their body needs or what they're gonna stick to for whatever their goal is, they tend to stick to the same calories every day. Now, obviously, we didn't evolve that way. The body and the metabolism will respond much better if you undulate your calories. So if you're having maybe some days where you're training harder, you're having higher calories, other days when you're not doing as much and burning as much, maybe dropping your calories down and switching up your macros a bit could be, well, it is good for your metabolism. So
excellent point, mate. And even with like types of foods as well, like maybe just consume higher amounts of protein. It is known to have like a better thermic effect. Food, so when there's extra calories to digest, absorb and process the nutrients. It's when there's extra calories to digest within food. Protein allows the largest rise in the thermic effect of food compared to carbs and fats, and it also has satiating effects as well, so you're less likely to overconsume.
Absolutely, yeah. Because generally protein foods which are high in protein, the body has to use up a lot more energy to digest. Yeah. So that makes perfect sense. And as Andrew made a great point then, as you've mentioned before, especially if you're looking to lose body fat and put yourself in a calorie deficit, then having adequate protein is very important for you to be satiated and to blunt hunger, if you like. So Yeah, and just I've mentioned this before as well, but just to stress strength training and lifting weights and focusing, prioritizing building muscle, because 1 pound of lean muscle, just to keep that muscle on your body, it will cost your body about 30 to 50 calories, give or take, just to keep 1 pound of muscle on your body. So Andrew and I, we've built a significant amount of muscle, for example, over the years. So we don't do any added cardio. We're active individuals. How many steps do you kind of average a day over there, mates, in New York?
I was looking at my watch earlier, and I was just actually, funny enough, before this podcast, and I'll just check it again now. But so today I've done 18,959 steps.
Wow.
It hasn't been a massively busy day for me in terms of PT clients. But as soon as I step out the door, I'm walking like 5-10 minutes to the train. On the train, walking 15 minutes to work. On my feet all day and work. And I come back, obviously walk again, and I'm walking the dog this evening, so that'll probably be another 30 minutes, maybe another 3,000 steps. So I'm constantly, on the go, on the move. So it does make it easier for me, I guess, to stay lean.
Definitely. But also the muscle you built, right, and so look at the muscle mass you have now.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying. Yeah.
I'm trying to increase my calories all the time. If I'm taking myself through a bit of a deficit, and when I do increase those calories again, I'm trying to increase my metabolic rate. So ultimately, I want to be able to eat more and still burn body fat, and that's where everyone should be.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, I average about 12,000 steps a day, which is still a lot more than the average person. But so as the combination of our daily activity and the amount of muscle mass we've built, so I weigh less. I weigh about 200 pounds. I'm pretty sure around about let's say 160 pounds of that is muscle. So I told you 1 pound of muscle will burn 30 to 50 calories. So you do the maths. Just without us moving, our body metabolism is supercharged as a result of building muscle. So always focus on that, folks. And anything else you wanted to say on that before we move on to the next? Oh yeah,
pretty good.
Foods. Yeah, let's just talk real quickly about foods. We mentioned protein. I had micronutrients as well, so I wanted to quickly mention the importance of gut health actually as well. So there's a direct link between the gut and the hormones. The gut fires the hormones and vice versa. So having a healthy gut and eating plenty of fiber. So generally, if you're going to be eating good quality types of fiber, that's going to mean you're going to have to eat good quality foods, right? So lots of vegetables and lots of healthy food sources. So I think micronutrients, getting enough vitamins, minerals, and fiber is definitely going to play a part in building a healthy metabolism. Healthy metabolism as well. Do you think, Drew?
Yes, agreed, mate.
Yeah.
Always, again, these points we're putting across here are kind of the points we allude to every time we speak. Build strength, move more, drink plenty of water, get good sleep, and not eliminate all processed foods, I guess, but keep them minimal in your diet and look to focus on whole natural foods for the most part.
Awesome. Yeah, so the next question then. I hope that pretty much covered most of our knowledge on the metabolism. Next question is Billy Grant 95. Best forms of cardio for the joints and for all-round well-being, Drew?
Yes, sir. So I think we alluded to that one just now, didn't we?
Yep.
When we mentioned that we step. Like it's a real efficient way to burn excess calories by just moving more. So I guess that's non-exercise activity thermogenesis. We did a podcast on this a while back.
Yeah, neat.
Any activity, I guess, outside planned exercise is an easy way to put it. So that can be working in the garden, that could be cleaning your house, that can be walking to work like I do. And that's going to be a nice joint-friendly exercise to start off. I guess a lot of people will be looking to punish themselves in the new year, and they'll be doing high-intensity style workouts. If you are an athlete and you're able to do this, I don't see any concern with that. But for your average person, just taking a walk in the park is enough to increase your metabolic rate and help you burn extra calories, in my opinion.
Absolutely, yeah. And I was just going to say then, in terms of all-round well-being as well, right? So, you said about that being really good for your health, and obviously the best way to kind of to keep on top of cardio, which is kind of cardio you're not aware of, right? So also you said about making maybe a little bit more of an effort to, like you said, walk into work, but even just to break it down, like we said on the last podcast, is just trying to become a fit person, right? So try and make that part of who you are, being a fit person. So a fit person would generally, instead of driving around the corner, they would walk around the corner. Instead of taking the lifts, generally they would take the stairs. All of these decisions you make are gonna have a great impact on your all-round well-being, but also for your body's ability to to burn the calorie expenditure over the space of a week. But I guess I'm veering a little bit away from the point here. But I was going to say other different types of cardio for the joints and all-round well-being. I've got, obviously, we mentioned NEAT, which is what we just mentioned then, and then the bike as well. So if you are going to choose cardio, I always find the exercise bike is great. Better still if you do have access to a watt bike. They're really, really good, really high-tech bike that the Olympic athletes kind of use, and you can really program different workouts into there. But in terms of the joints, it's really low impact on the joints on the bike generally, and also you get the resistance on the legs as well. So it's a good way to, well, for me on the watt bike, it actually did build my legs when I was doing HIIT style training on the watt bike. But just generally for burning calories, I think the bike's a great tool. Also, swimming's another good one. Obviously, low impact on the body. I mean, I'm terrible at swimming personally, but it is a great exercise. So
swimming for recovery as well. I used to do it a lot after rugby, and that just helped me recover after a game.
Yeah, exactly.
It obviously depends what you've got available to you, right? If you are attending a gym, like you haven't got a pool, then your alternative could be to go use a bike. If you're not using a bike, and you could cycle outdoors, go for a walk. There's one huge one I want to mention, which is a lot of gyms don't have access to these. It's recently been added to my program and yours, because I know you're doing the same program as me, which is the sled.
Yep.
I like it because I not only like it for strength training, because it can be an alternative to squats. So anyone who has imbalances when they are doing a squat, for a good leg developer, you can pop them on the sled, do some pushes, pulls, drags. You can use it like before your workout, in the middle of your workout, afterwards. Ultimately, I want to build, if you're looking for cardiovascular type development when you're using the sled, I put people on there dragging or pushing, maybe for an extended period of time, maybe 4, 6, 8 minutes, depending on their fitness levels. It's very functional, and it can be relatable to everyday life, right? So we can be pushing, pulling, and dragging in everyday life. And also transfers nicely to a sport. So if you're playing rugby, you want to push off the ball. Soccer, you're trying to drive someone off the ball. Any type of sport, basketball, and it's always done in the positive frame. So what I mean is, it's like a positive, it's a positive part of a squat. Okay, yes. It's never because you're always pushing.
Exactly.
So that means that it is a little lighter on the joints, a little lighter on the body, because we know the negative portion of a squat, a deadlift, is where it takes the most toll and stresses and damages the muscles. So you're actually in a positive when you're using a sled. So the stress on the joints is very little compared to other exercises.
Definitely. And for the listeners who are not fully aware of what a sled is, it's a metal contraption. You push it. You need turf to push it. So that's what Andrew was saying. A lot of gyms don't actually have one of these available, but you push it along the turf. I think, well, for example, the sled alone in my gym, I think weighs about 70 kilos, I think. So then if you add weight to that, like yesterday, obviously, as Andrew said, we're doing the same program. We're both doing a strength training phase right now. And I added, I think, 60k to each side. So, that was about 130 kilos. But this is bear in mind, this is really heavy, because I was doing strength training, and I'd done like 4 sets of 50 feet. And I tell you what, I actually I used to wear like a heart rate monitor when I used to do when I used to train, and nothing would bump my heart rate up higher than the sledge and heavy walking lunges. Those two alone, I mean, conditioning. So you get the conditioning element; it'll build your fitness. Your cardiorespiratory system will be firing. Improve your lung capacity, but also, I find it's really, really good for building your legs as well. Obviously, if you do have issues with your joints and knees and whatnot, be mindful of that, because it can put excess strain on the knees, especially if it's not done correctly. But and as Andrew was saying, pulling the sledge, I mean, that's functional for most people. When you're doing the pulling motion with the sledge right hand, it's really, really good, because you're firing the posterior chain more as well. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that's the neglected part of the body for most people, right? We're constantly in front of ourselves these days. When we're reaching in front, we're on our phone, we are on a computer, we are walking forward. Okay, so anything we can do to work our posterior chain, which is regularly neglected in day-to-day life, sled or exercises such as deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts, pulling exercises, posture. We all know that's a bit of an epidemic now, so it can definitely help with that.
100%. And just to cap off on this one, then, I would say as well, any cardio you enjoy. So whatever you, and this goes to exercise in general, right? And I think I'd like to mention today as well, we always talk about how important lifting weights is, and hands down, resistance training is the most beneficial exercise, both for health and longevity, and for building your best body, if you like. However, if you don't enjoy lifting weights, if it's something you really hate doing, and you're not going to adhere to it, and guess what? It's probably not for you. So it's the same as cardio. If you're having to grind out certain types of cardio you don't enjoy, and you're most likely not going to be consistent with, and you're not going to adhere to it long term, then again, you're not going to get your bang for your buck. You're not going to keep it going, and it's not going to mold into your lifestyle. So the key thing is to do any kind of cardio that you enjoy. And like Andrew and I, for example, we're the type of people that like to go to the gym, lift weights, headphones in. It's therapy for us. That's the way we like to train. But if for you, it might be, training in a group, training with a group of people. That might work better for you, having the social aspect as well as the fitness. So, whatever works for you, because the person who is doing something, let's say once or twice a week, that they're going to adhere to for the rest of their life, is going to be much, much more beneficial than someone who's going to do something like Andrew was saying then, high-intensity cardio, for example, they don't particularly enjoy and they can't sustain, and doing that for a few months or a few weeks and then going back to their old habits. So that's the most important thing, I would say. And do you agree?
Sir, totally agree, mate. Again, long-term adherence when it comes to diet, when it comes to movement, when it comes to your fitness, it's going to put you in a good state and is going to help you achieve those goals long into the future. So
definitely. Another, because I put the post up about cold showers the other day, and I had a few people asking me questions. A lot of people didn't know about the Iceman as well, about Wim Hof. Are you familiar with this guy?
A little bit, man. I'm not delved too deeply into him, but I've heard lots of good things about him anyway. So
that's it. But anyway, cold shower benefits. Now, again, I like to state that this is kind of, I wouldn't say the bottom of the list, but it is towards the bottom of the list, definitely. But there's so many good benefits to come out of it. When I actually started writing down the things that benefited me from having cold showers, and I know a lot of people are thinking, firstly, you're crazy, and secondly, yeah, bullshit, mate. You know what I mean? Cold showers. But
it's not so bad in Australian weather.
Exactly.
Shower, but when you're in New York, in the middle of winter, and it's in the minuses, then it's tough, mate.
Tell me about that, mate. Tell me about it. That's what I was going to get to now, because you have cold showers.
I was on my knees this morning in the shower, washing my hair in the cold, and I was crying to myself. So I've been slacking. You kind of brought this back into my routine, because you told me about yourself doing cold showers. Yeah. I've been slacking definitely over Christmas, and I've come back here, and I had a cold shower and work yesterday and this morning. I was on my knees in there, and crying, and it wasn't a very good experience. So, but I managed it all last year, so I can do it again this year.
Exactly, and that's it, mate. I mean, like, people are going to think, it must be. What is the temperature outside now, mate? Like 10 degrees, 5 degrees?
Let me just check, mate. I've got my phone here. It's probably minus.
Oh, it's minus. Is that cold right now? Okay.
It's in the minuses right now, mate. So it's not too bad. It was -6 earlier. I think it's actually, no, I got you here, -2. So it was -6 earlier. So it's getting warmer.
Here we go, folks. So,
it's nice to walk my dog now on the block. So
lovely jubbly. At least he's got a nice fur coat on, mate. But it's day and night. The difference between having it's actually refreshing having a cold shower here, obviously in this heat. I did find it a little bit more challenging in the winter, but the winters in Sydney, and nowhere they pale in comparison to the winters in New York. So I mean, being consistent with, I've been doing it And bear in mind, folks, like I attempted about, I think 3 years ago to have cold showers back in the UK, and I failed. I was like, nah, I can't do it. And then I went back to it, failed again. And then I went back, I think last year, and I managed to be, I went back in the winter as well. So I thought, right, if you can do it in the winter, in the summer it'll be a breeze. And it's just every single day now, cold shower, first thing in the morning. Bear in mind, Andrew and I start work. I'm in there for about a minute in the morning.
So I wouldn't obviously recommend doing like a minute for a beginner, right? You want to build up to it. You can just
10 seconds.
10, 20 seconds at the end of your shower and get the hell out of there.
Definitely.
And that'll work wonders for you. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I did about probably on and off today. So I was cold, then warm, then cold, then warm again. So I was a bit softer today. But I'll get back to it my old ways. But
exactly. But yeah, no, cold showers and exposing yourself to cold. Bear in mind, folks, like, I mean, if you're not in a good state of health, then again, as we've mentioned with, tools such as fasting, which is a stress on the body, obviously you have the reason why they're so beneficial, cold showers, is because it's a stress on the body, and the body responds by, creating all of these benefits, such as cold showers have been proven to strengthen the blood vessels around your heart. So, it's really, really good for your heart and your respiratory system. But one of the things I wanted to mention, and is before we go into the physical side effects, is like the mindset. Now, I know it sounds a bit weird, but I've only realized, started connecting the dots recently, that I think my resilience and my ability to persevere with certain things, I'm sure having cold showers and just getting in that cold shower in the morning, because, when I initially get in there, it's still fucking hard work for the first 10 seconds, right? So imagine Andrew and I both start work at like 5 a.m. I'm getting up at like 10 past 4. First thing I do is jump in the cold shower. Now, the thought of that in the morning, you're waking up in the morning, your stress levels, your stress hormones are already through the roof, such as cortisol. And the last thing you really want to be contemplating is a freezing cold shower. But after 10 seconds, boom, it's fine for me now. I can stay in there for like as long as I wanted. But as you said, for the average person, mate, I think just 10 seconds at the end would be fine, right?
I think just to start off, yeah, most definitely, man. I think it's. Do you try and talk yourself out of it? And just before you go in there, though, that's my biggest issue.
Yeah,
I'll do it, but I'm playing mind games with myself. I'm like, you can do it. No, you're not. Yeah, you can. No, you're not.
I'd be talking myself out of it if I was in that. Mate, if I was in that weather, in that climate, I'd definitely be talking myself out of it. But yeah, I do. I get that. The little bitch voice tells me not to get in there, but I fight against him.
Yeah. That's your ego again, right? So
exactly, mate.
It definitely, it 100% does strengthen your willpower. Definitely to take on the day. Like if I can do a cold shower for a minute in a New York winter, then I'm ready to take on anything for the day.
100%.
I'm not one of these crazy people that walks around in their shorts. So in this time of year, New York, I see that you're going to work at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And people are walking around in shorts and not even just a small jacket on. So it's terrible, man.
That's just dumb, man. That's just plain dumb. But yeah, no, I was going to say then about we were saying about the mindset. I've lost my trail of thought there now. But whatever you were saying prior to that, I was going to expand on. But there's been loads of studies to prove that. That's what I was going to say about, for example, this is the extreme version, but like Scandinavians, there's some conclusive studies now to prove that, because they obviously the hot treatment, the saunas play a big part in this as well. But part of the tradition in Scandinavia is they'll do, for example, like a 15-minute sauna, and then they'll plunge into those ice cold waters. This is, like I said, the extreme version. They'll plunge into those ice cold waters for 5 minutes, and they'll repeat that like 3 or 4 times, and they'll do that every day. And they've proven that certain genes which benefit longevity, they have higher amounts of those genes, and generally, I mean, they're healthier. They generally have I think they have a lower obesity rate in those countries and stuff as well. But there's loads of other factors which come into that. But yeah, I mean, the hot cold stuff does have massive benefits. So
yeah. So I'm sure they do the same or similar in like Eastern Europe or Russia or things like that, where they probably get their kids running about in the cold weather.
Definitely.
From time to time as well. I think I've seen videos. I've heard someone mention about videos that they get them out there playing in the cold just to acclimatize to that weather and toughen them up a bit. Yes. Definitely. I guess we're guilty of everything's automatic for us now. Like you can probably switch on your car, the heating comes on, you come home, you got your heating on automatic. So we're living in such comfort that from time to time to do things like that is obviously optimal to take yourself out of the comfort zone and let your body to adapt to some extremes, right?
Absolutely. I'm glad. That's exactly what I was going to say. So you can relate this to just comfort zones in general, and that's why I was saying about the discipline and the mindset. Just consistently have cold showers. It takes a little bit of discipline to do that, but you can relate it to anything. Let's use comfort eating as an example. Most of us will eat a lot of the time based on our emotions. It takes a while to get in touch with those signals which you were born with, because our brains over the years slowly get hijacked because we've been exposed to so many different processed foods and whatnot. So getting yourself a little bit uncomfortable sometimes, and like Andrew was saying then about, we're constantly when you're in a car, you put the heating on. We've always got like really warm clothes on and stuff, which, don't get me wrong, you need to look after your immune system, but there's massive benefits to actually exposing yourself to the cold water every now and then.
Funnily enough, it can help with immune response, right?
Yeah.
Because you just mentioned the immune system there, like studies show. You still there? Sorry.
Yeah, still there.
It can increase the amount of white blood cells in your body. As we know, they protect the body against disease. Funnily enough, when I've actually stopped just before we were doing, obviously I've started again just the last couple of days having cold showers, but before that, over Christmas at home, I had none. On my return, I got the flu. So I don't know whether there's a correlation between the two. It may just be coincidence because I've been doing a lot of traveling and eating the wrong types of food that maybe I got sick, but it could be linked to having the lack of cold showers and then returning to the weather in New York. So
absolutely, mate, and that's what I meant to say earlier. It definitely has worked wonders for my immune system. Now, my immune system seemed pretty efficient beforehand, but I still used to get the, like the common cold. I would get that, let's say, a couple of times a year, whereas actually now I have a cold, but that's because my girlfriend's been coughing and spluttering all week. It took me a few. I got really smug as well. I thought to myself, oh God, I'm at the top of my game here. I thought, eating well, got that balance in my life. Those cold showers working wonders. The next morning I woke up then with a cold, so I got ahead of myself. But other than that, like once a year, if that now, mate, I get the common cold. So I think it plays a part in it for sure.
And when I'm down with that common cold, I feel like I'm dying, mate. I feel like I'm on my way out. As soon as I get that, it's the man flu kicking in.
It's man flu. I was going to say, like, luckily, ladies...
We are soft. We're soft as shit, man.
We're soft as shit. I know, I was going to say...
I'm down and out, mate. I got sick once in Africa, my stomach, and I thought that this is it for me, and obviously flu now. Last couple of days, and I thought my time is up. So
well, that was pretty mad, though. Let's just talk about that real quick. You said about, when you're in Africa... You went over to Ghana, didn't you? And you were coaching the kids and stuff. And then you had that, you had some sort, I don't know, it wasn't like a parasite, obviously, but it was a serious gut issue, wasn't it? And then tell them about your fasting stuff, real quick.
Say again, sorry?
Tell them, because you had to, you done like a little fast when you got back for like 3 days, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, obviously I didn't know whether I had a parasite or not, so I was pretty sick, and I was having checks by the doctor, so... I just wanted to give myself a little bit of a break from food, man. When I was over there, it was everyone was getting sick, so I thought initially that it was going into the second week, everyone else had been sick. I thought, oh yes, I'm super fit, as you were just alluding to when you were talking about speaking to your girl then, but and all of a sudden it hit me and it just knocked me dead. Like it was just, I'm not sure whether it was something I picked up from like washing my hands in the water over there, or from ice over there, or something like that, or from the cooking, different oils they were using. But unfortunately, that knocked me out for the day. And the only person, funnily enough, who didn't get sick on the tour was the girl who
eating shit food.
Yeah, she constantly eats processed foods.
Yep, adapted.
And everyone else who got sick had a decent diet of whole natural foods. So the one who coincidentally was eating the processed foods the most stayed well all tour. So
there's something to be said about that, and like diversity in the gut or whatever that is. I'm not promoting that. Like I don't think it's a good thing necessarily. I think the fact that you got ill is like your body telling you, hang about, mate, you shouldn't be doing this. It's like for you to, it's like a lesson kind of thing, isn't it? But I remember you saying, it's funny because, first point of contact for most people is, shit, I better go to the doctors. And I remember you saying your mum was worried and saying, go to the doctors. And instead you done like a 3-day fast, which to the average person, people would think, what the, hang about a minute. He was ill, he had that problem, and then he starved himself for 3 days. You know what I mean? Sounds pretty crazy, but explain why you've done that quickly, like why you did that fast then.
I just wanted I just didn't feel like eating, I guess, Matt, and I just wanted my stomach to settle down. Like, there wasn't any specific scientific reason behind that. I just felt like I'd had enough of food. I had pains in my stomach, and for me, it just made sense for me not to eat and just drink plenty of water.
Yeah.
And replenish myself,
Yeah. And how'd you find it again, and like, did you not get hunger at all though within that fast?
You do have bouts of hunger here and there. You've done a 3-day fast, right?
Oh, no, no, the longest I've done, no, I haven't done anywhere near that, mate. I've done like just over 24. I've done like 28 hours.
I'm pretty used to it now. So for me, I'm not. There can be different variables that may affect it. But for me, if I drink plenty of water and I get a good sleep each night, then it's not as, the hunger isn't as prevalent as it would be if I was doing alternative things such as shitty sleep, getting up early, working too much. So that all affects it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So just to summarize then, so the main benefits for me from having cold showers is obviously the mental discipline to do it, but the physical effects, definitely my immune system's improved. Also, bear in mind, when you do expose yourself to cold water like that, your body generally will pump out all 3 of those stress hormones, so norepinephrine, adrenaline, and cortisol. So it obviously puts you in that kind of like fight or flight kind of mode. That is a stress response, and what that does then, similar to when you have a coffee, you know, your brain will pump out the like especially cortisol, the stress hormone, which helps wake you up, right? So yeah, what I find is when I have that, clarity, mental clarity, I'm more alert, I'm more focused for a solid 2 or 3 hours afterwards. So I mean, it's not quite the same as having a coffee. I don't get as much of the dopamine kind of, you know, like the happy kind of feeling, but I do get more alert, and like, I guess I do get the kind of the happy kind of feeling, the empathy a little bit. But yeah, more than anything, it makes me more alert. It's improved my immune system, and yeah, it's definitely done something to my mindset as well. So
yeah, for me, if I'm feeling groggy in the morning as well, and I whack on that cold shower, it just gives me that pop that I need, like especially when I'm not drinking coffee now. Just gives me an alertness and just wakes me up and makes me feel better instantly. So
awesome. Yeah, so we've managed to wrap it up, I think, in just under 40 minutes. We did say off air it would be a quick 20 minutes, but we always go over. We like to talk shit, so we can talk. But yeah, I was just going to say as well, you can head over to, currently you have to go to my website, but Andrew and I, the plan is to be launching our website next month. So that's the plan. So it's going to be optimizeyourbody.com. But right now, you can access our recipe ebooks we created, all for free, by the way. Free recipe ebooks. We have 2 of them. We have one which is for vegans and just a normal one. We also have a training program as well, a 4-week training program, all for free. For now, if you just go over, you can find this on my Instagram, at Martin Silva Fitness. But if you just go to my website, which is martin-silva.co.uk, enter your email address, sign up for our newsletters as well. So we'll be sending out lots of weekly free content as well via email. Sign up for that and you'll get your free ebooks and training plan. Thanks for chiming in again, Drew. Appreciate it, mate.
No problem, mate. Thanks for inviting me. Appreciate it.
No worries, mate. And one more thing, folks. If you like this podcast, please give us a rating and review on iTunes. Cheers, Drew. Speak to you soon, mate.
Bye-bye.
Bye, mate.